everyone. Today I'm going to share with you 5 tips to support math learning at home. The first tip is don't tell your kids you're not a math person. For the most part, people don't really go around saying that they can't read or they never learn to read, but for some reason it seems okay to say that about math, and we need to change that culture. When parents tell their children that they aren't math people, those children are less likely to be successful in math. This is particularly true for mothers with daughters. Moms, when you say to your daughters, "I'm not a math person," their math achievement goes down almost immediately. There is really just no amount of inspirational teaching that's going to overcome the bond that children feel with you about not being good at something. So regardless of your actual feelings about math, please show some enthusiasm, fake it till you make it, and it will honestly help your children be better math learners. The next tip is do let your children see you doing math. We model reading for our kids. We show them us reading emails and text messages on the newspaper and books, but we often don't model how we use math in our real life. And it's weird for us to tell kids, hey, you're going to use math all the time, when they don't see us using math all the time. So how do you use math in your life? Let your kids see that happening. If you're in a restaurant and you're going to be splitting the bill with somebody, think aloud about how much each person is going to pay. If you've ordered food and you want to tip the delivery person, think aloud about how much you should tip them based on what the size of the purchase was. If you follow sports, talk to your kids about those players' averages or how many more points somebody needs to win the game. Or if somebody got a really big contract, how much is their contract going to equal out to over however many years their contract is for. And if you are using cash, when you pay for something, count it out in front of your child. Or once they're old enough, have them count out the money. They need to understand that math is really, really very much part of our lives, because that can give it a little bit more meaning and a little bit more value to them. Also, please don't make your child drill math facts. It's so boring and it makes everybody hate math. And it tells our children that math is just a collection of facts to be memorized by rote, and without any context, they don't see how it connects to their real life, which it does. If we were talking about trying to encourage your child to be a musician or a singer, you wouldn't ask them to just play or sing scales all day. Then they would hate their music lessons. You would have them, do some exercises that practice particular things, and your teachers will give your child that. But just the math fact memorization with flashcards is not very helpful. It tends to also not stick. It's kind of in one ear and out the other. The kids regurgitate it on tests and then they're done. So instead of just asking them to drill math facts, ask them to play a game with you. Which brings me to our next point. Please do play games together. Whatever games you choose, please make sure that they're not about speed. We don't want children to think that math is about being fast. When they think that, it tends to start from a very young age, children having math anxiety. We really want to avoid that. You can play mathy games, or you can just play any game really. If you like dominoes or cards or board games, any of those help students with their math skills. Games with dice are really nice because they see the patterns on the dice and can connect those patterns to a quantity. Games where students move like a piece around a game board is helpful because it really helps students develop that one-to-one correspondence, the idea that a quantity corresponds with a certain number of moves. And making that connection is really vital in their development of math ideas. It also helps students with reading. So when you're playing board games, you can feel good that you're helping your child develop their strengths in 2 different subjects. My last tip is please don't pick up the pencil. If you're at home with your child and they're sitting next to you doing their math work and you're trying to help them through it, and then you look down and realize that somehow you are holding their pencil, you have accidentally taken over their learning. The person who's doing the writing is the person who's doing the learning. So when we take that pencil, we're taking away their learning. We are also sending the message, I don't believe that you can do this, I have to do it for you. And that's not the message we want to send. And I understand as a parent and a teacher, this is really, really hard. We want to show them how to do it. We don't like to watch them struggle. We want to rescue them. It's very natural. However, just like when our kids were learning to walk, they're going to fall down a little bit, and we have to stand on the side and let that happen. And then our job is to pick them up, be supportive, and say, hey, I know you can do it. Yes, you made a mistake. That's natural. That's what learning is like. You're going to make mistakes, and you're going to work through it, and I'm here to help support you through that. But don't take the pencil from them, because then you're not being supportive. Then you're just doing it. Thanks, everyone. Happy learning and stay safe.